Okay, today, a subject I know everybody wants to know. When is this big shift going to happen? When is the Great Awakening? When is this all going to actually culminate and happen? I have that answer for you. And I'm going to explain why we've been talking about this for a while and why we talk about a big shift is here, another shift. What is that? When does the big shift come? I'm going to tell you exactly when that is. This is going to hopefully clear up all of these questions that you have about some upcoming thing that you're anticipating. This is going to be so cool. I think you'll be able to relax after this and go into a space of peace. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Your reality is yours. We think we know what other people are thinking and feeling. We know nothing about them. Why? Because we are all purposefully on individual journeys, perceived individual journeys. That is the whole purpose of being on this planet, is to be illusions of individuals. What does that mean? If we were all going to go into a great awakening as one, that would mean all the individuals would have to come to the exact same place within their frequency. Everyone here has individual choice. The Great Awakening is in alignment with no time, no space. It is not on a linear timeline. Now, hear me out, because this is going to make so much sense. Somebody saw, new subscribers saw my videos from years ago and said, "Oh my gosh, you've been talking about this shift for like years." Well, there have been many shifts. We felt them. We felt all kinds of things transpire. What is that? They continue. Yes, actually it's been happening for decades, well, hundreds of years. But let me explain the stages of the shift and the shift we're in right now, and how you can participate in it in a super powerful way. The shift that we experienced was during the times of Christ, was awareness, pulling us into consciousness that there is something greater than us. That's why certain prophets, Christ, the one we know, all over the globe, people know that Christ was super powerful, amazing spirit came here. And of course demonstrated the powers that he had and said, "These things you shall do and more, ye are all gods." Wake up, people. This is what you are, and demonstrated it. That was the purpose of his visit here, was to take us into the stage to say, wait a minute, we are beyond this material world, and how's this guy doing this? Holy cow, and if he says we can do it, but we never really have believed that. Through the centuries, we have gone into a gradual awakening. Now, the material world has tried to keep us down, right? The egos in power have tried to keep the masses down, because those egos feel like they're losing control if they don't keep people in unconsciousness. But that's changing. So what happened in the last decades, let's say 100 years, we have explored and experimented with that other side that has been unexplainable, and way too many people are talking about it now without being burned at the stake, that there's something greater than us that we actually are participating in and actually are and control. Seeing the future, being able to change the future, having psychic abilities and all kinds of things that we squash. Kids with psychic ability, don't talk about it. That's changing. Kids that know their past lives, you may know of a past life. We're out there. Why? Because all things are possible. And now we're exploring the all things are possible. So what's been happening is people are actually waking up and going into that quantum space where all things are possible, all probabilities, and understanding that everything is affected by your thoughts and your actions. It starts with a belief. So limiting beliefs will keep you in a limited space. You can change that. It's all up to you as an individual. So your neighbor may not think that way at all. So what is that? How can we go into great awakening if we have all these different beliefs and thoughts and frequencies? It's not one thing. All right, now we are one thing. Now I'll explain this. So we have come into awakening. We're going into a state and we go into different shifts, is that the spiritual part of us has gone into a higher frequency enough where it's affecting masses. So my thoughts affect you. So the more of us that go into unlimited thinking, compassion, love, placing service to others first, getting out of our own weird reality and judgment and all this other cray-cray stuff, more people that come out of that and realize they can change any story and therefore change their reality, the more we go into a higher consciousness. That is happening. That is the Great Awakening. All right? Now, what is happening now? Another shift has been happening, and that is, and I'm talking more about that one now, that is the one of the physical world. So because we're going to a higher consciousness, we are now affecting the physical world, because through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, thoughts, prompt actions, we're changing the physical world now. Before we weren't. We were about me, and I'm going to meditate, and what do I get? And, the law of attraction, what do I get? What do I get? Ask and it is given, and we interpreted that as I'm going to ask and I'm going to get it. And I teach, give and you receive. In other words, when you place something out there, you're receiving it tenfold. So if you're putting judgment or anything else out there, it's coming straight back to you. You're going to go into a lower frequency, and that's going to show up in your life. So I always say, tell me about your life. I'll tell you what you're thinking, right? So now we are going into the physical changes. So you guys are feeling the DNA changes because the frequencies are going up. Your individual frequency is going up. So therefore, your own individual body, in the illusion, this is the experience, is now having to adjust to this expansive energy field that is going out here and reconnecting to, never actually lost it, but conscious of itself as one thing. That is the Great Awakening. It's not happening for everybody at the exact same time. So people are waiting for some big event. The events that I talk about that are coming are the material world events that are pushing us to change because we're ordering it. It's a combination of two things. What we've done that is a consequence of past actions that we're now having to live with, a polluted planet, seeing horrible things happen to our nature and animals because of it, and our own bodies because we've polluted ourselves. There are consequences to that can be changed. So now we're getting the repercussions and saying, you know what? It's pushed us to make big changes. People don't change until they go to the dark night of the soul, or, they lose a job or a relationship. If everything's all hunky-dory, nobody, I'm fine, I don't have to do anything. We're having to do things now, and that is the great transformation that's happening right now. All of these things are coming to the forefront. The second part of that is we want that. Because we want to change how we treat the planet, our bodies, our animals. We want to change how we treat one another. We want that because we're going into a great awakening in consciousness that knows what we've done in the past has been on a lower frequency, and that we have to change that behavior if we want to live on a planet that could be literally heaven on earth. The illusion, but it's a high frequency illusion versus a lower one which we've been living. Does this make sense? So you're going to see the shifts are going from recognizing that we are more than that, going into consciousness, going into experiencing some bizarre things because you're not limited anymore. When you're in the physical world and you're limiting yourself and believing certain things, you create that. When we explore now, that we can communicate with other unseen forces, that we don't have to be afraid, that fear is an illusion, and that our thoughts are creating our own realities and thus contribute to the whole. And that is the consciousness is coming back to the oneness that we are, and knowing that you and I are one, and that we as a collective affect one another, but still have the individual choices. So if you see somebody not going into the awakening, they're still on their own individual journey, and that is not to be judged. And so many spiritual people are still in that phase of wanting somebody to be different, or wanting things to be different. Things are exactly as we ordered them and are creating. We're actually shifting into a probability. Past, present, future exist all in one time. Einstein said this. All right? Einstein said that everything is all happening equally at the same time. Past, present, future, and all probabilities. And through one decision, one change, and I talked about this in my last video, your one decision changes the entire matrix, the entire existence of the illusion. Why? And beyond. Because your choice now took you into a different probability, which affects absolutely every individual energy field within it, right? Everybody. So your choices are so important. And yes, of course I've been talking about it. My DNA shift happened about 10 years ago. Very physical. It was blatant. And I shifted into, quitting my investment banking position, changing everything I did, getting messages of what I was supposed to be doing. I wrote my book. I have my television movie out there. If you guys don't know that, I have several books out. I changed my life drastically and started going into passion. I had a spontaneous healing in my foot. And that was, hey, I'm going in the right direction now. So the universe is always talking to you because it is you. You're the conscious being now that has to start listening to everything, including your body, what's going on around you. And meditation will take you into that silent space where you can connect to every answer. You can place your requests in there, but let it go, because the ego wants to control everything. That great awakening is absolute 100% faith. You're not going into a struggle anymore. You understand fear, and you don't allow it to control you anymore. You don't try to guess what other people are thinking or doing or feeling. You just see them as beautiful light beings going on their own journey, and you're available for your neighbor as you can be. And then you do your absolute best. That's your purpose here. That's it. People, I need my purpose. That's the ego wanting to say, me personally, what is my purpose? Good luck. You know what? It's right here. It's right here. And then when you let go of having to define or label that, it'll show up in massive ways. All right? So I want you to know something. It is happening. And so I call it the tipping point. We're going into tipping points where we now shifted into the physical shift of frequency. And the planet literally's frequency has gone up. That's been documented. Right? They've got instruments that, listen to this. And so now it's proof that we have shifted and changed. An electromagnetic field has been affected by this. And so this is all a positive thing. So if you have experienced physical symptoms, you may be eating a lot less, wanting to go vegan. I've had people in my miracle circle completely stop drinking or smoking. People had spontaneous healings. It's the letting go and going into the space that's all powerful. That you don't have to label or know anything. And when you see other people as separate, then you're not understanding that the consciousness that you are is the one. And that you can do anything here in this body as the human being that you signed up for. So accept that. This is a journey, it's a magnificent one, and you're part of a great awakening, a great transformation. So it's your own individual journey, but collectively you're going to see a major shift continue on. And we're going to have some big ones happening, because then the planets and other energy fields, align to, boost us, help us. I don't have those answers, but I do know that they happen. We've felt them before. We've gone through periods of time where we've really picked up on energy fields because we're one. So nothing stands independently, but we do get to play out the individual journey of whoever you look at in the mirror. So does this make sense? The Great Awakening, people are waiting for some big flash. How can that be? So, some people get to go and others are going to be stuck here, in purgatory or hell? No. It's a continuation. It never ends. It's never ending. The experience on the planet, we transition out of it. She never goes away. Even when she dissolves, she's still an energy field that will not be gone. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. She will just change forms just like we will. So, quit waiting for this thing in the future and know that it's happening right now. And the more you work on this, and the more you let go of having to know things or know the future, what's the big event, there's going to be a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them. And here's what they're going to do for us. They're going to allow us to show who and what we are as the experience that we chose. This is when you're going to be tested. Who are you when there are challenges? Are you going to barricade yourself and hoard? Or are you going to step up and be the community, the loving, beautiful community that's creating something new and perfect and beautiful that doesn't include people that bitch because they can't get their food, overnight? Or somebody was complaining, calling it a shortage because they couldn't get their car for 6 months. I waited a year for my car. It's not a shortage. It's called low production. We're operating differently. And at some point, there are just some things we just won't need anymore. We won't even want it. So start living the life that you want to see in the world out there. I've told you this. We are in control, but you cannot continue to violate the planet, your body, judge other people, get on a soapbox and point at the governments and blame people, and then expect the world to change. We have to live it right now. Be the change maker. Be the solution. You are in the Great Awakening. It is happening. And you will see things happen in your life that will blow your mind. Somebody said, I know you're teaching this, so what miracles have you had? I said, do you have a few hours? I've been having them forever. Amazing stuff. The odds 1 in a billion kind of odds. I have done things even when I'm told no. And if you guys know me and you've gotten to know me through my websites and my courses, I share a lot with you. And so it's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, way. So I wanted to share with you that I have an event coming up. This is October of 2022. And if you want to go in the description, I have a transformation event. 3.5 hours with me, teachings, and it includes 1 year of the replay and lessons and practices online for you. And if you sign up now, you'll get the early bird and you'll get to join me and go into some lessons that could be transformational for you. So if you want to check that out, that's down in the description. These are free. Those are always free. I'm always giving you cool stuff, mobile app that's I think you'll love. Please subscribe, and you guys know you want to change your life like I did. Create an online business allows you to travel all over the world and create the kind of business that you think the world can benefit from. And then you can make a living doing that, doing good things, right? Nothing wrong with earning money, doing good things. Get that, broke spiritual thing out of your head. We're more powerful when we're abundant, and there's plenty for everyone. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. We're going to talk more about this. Blessings, my friend. Namaste.